Hello everyone, it's Julia and I am back in Anne Nicole Nelson Hall with Dr. Ken Bowles. And we're going to be looking at his character and his role in Amahl and the Night Visitors, which you can see this Saturday at 7:30. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please jump online because they're limited. And we want you to be able to come and see this beautiful production. So Dr. Bowles, thank you for meeting with me today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, would you mind telling everybody how long you've been teaching here, what you teach here at Minot State University?
Well, let's see, I believe we came here in 1993, so we can just add that up. And I've now been retired for 5 years. This is my 5th year of retirement. And any teaching I've done here is adjunct teaching, just teaching private lessons where needed, and essentially being a retired person, but in the community.
Okay, that's awesome. So you are playing the role of King Kaspar this Saturday, and you played this role 25 years ago, correct?
I did indeed. In fact, the stage director, Cheryl Nilsen, was the stage director 25 years ago. Yeah, my wife, Devera, was the mother. She's now the costume mistress for 25 years ago. And Eric Furseth was in the production, and it's very interesting that we're all still around, and it still seems fresh.
Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to you to be given the opportunity to play this role again?
Oh, it's there's nostalgia in it, but there's also the piece itself is a little bit of pretty significant inspiration. You know, Menotti, who wrote the libretto as well as the music for it, was approached to do something that had never been done before, which was to write specifically for the new technology of television. And so it was a big deal as it was done. It was noted, and of course it became for years a thing that, like watching The Wizard of Oz, it comes up every Christmas, you know. So did Amahl and the Night Visitors, and I remember as a kid seeing it just about every Christmas, and we'll look forward to seeing where it would be, where I had to tune in to see it. And so there's nostalgia in it, but it just on its own really has a wonderful, powerful, and emotional story to tell, and the music to it is particularly sweet and endearing, and I think it's special in just many ways. So that was when I was approached about doing it, first thing I said was, well, isn't there someone else? But then as we began, I knew it would be delightful, and I've had a great ball with it so far. So
that's great. So tell us a little bit about King Kaspar. Like, when you are up on stage and you get to act him, what are you thinking of, and how would you describe his personality?
Well, first off, he's kind of deaf, so he has the tendency to always look inward, and then he reaches out usually with a or something to let you know that he's struggling to, to keep up with everyone. He's a little quirky. He's not sure at one point if he's a king. It all has to turn to one of the other kings just to tell him for sure that he is. Oh, he thought so. And he has these quirks, like this box between us here. He travels with a box, and the box is kind of his security blanket, I suppose, and he keeps his special things in the top drawer, and he has some beads in the middle drawer, and in the bottom he carries licorice, which he's so delighted to pass out to people. So.
Yes, several people that I've interviewed throughout the week have mentioned that their favorite part of the story is your song about Kaspar's box.
Well, it is a kind of a thing that was probably kind of inspired to have a character that didn't fit the somber and dramatic nature of everybody else on stage.
Yes, it provides some comedic relief.
I
to the
suppose so,
story.
yeah.
So how has this role changed since you played it 25 years ago?
Yeah, well, I don't think the role has changed at all. I'm a little more willing to fool around with it and to accept the quirks that were there, maybe from times before, I don't know. But I have to say that as I picked it up, started to look at it, I remembered about, maybe like 10% of it from 25 years ago. There were a lot of miles from then till now. So I feel as though I've learned it fresh.
That's great. That's great. So I've been kind of asking most everyone that I've interviewed, but what advice would you give to maybe a young singer or musician that comes here and sits in the audience on Saturday and sees this production and is maybe inspired? What advice would you give them in their musical adventures?
Well, let's see. In getting ready for the show, you mean to watch the show?
Well, and pursuing their own musical ambitions and goals.
That's a big project. I think, I once thought that people went a single direction through their careers. And I now think that they go many directions. And a person performs when they can and it's appropriate. And people teach, and people write, and people write about music. So in what way do you pursue your life? And I guess the truth is, it is multifaceted. And I guess I don't know anybody who can do just one single thing. So the best advice would be to remain flexible, open, adaptive, to allow yourself to enjoy what you do, and also make certain that you're always looking inside to be sure that you feel like you've done your best. And then, of course, from that, you enjoy the pride of doing it as well as the growth that goes along with that. So I'd throw it that way. And pieces that are charming and enduring and lasting in their impact, like Amahl and the Night Visitors, it's great to be associated with it wherever you can.
Yes, I agree, and that is excellent advice. So thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bowles, for meeting with me today. For those of you watching, thanks for watching. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, there are still some available. You can get them by calling Ellen in the box office. Her number is 701-858-4228, or you can visit us online at www.minotsymphony.com. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Symphony.